Presentation, we'll be having Srinidhi ji from Valmiki Ashrama. She'll be presenting on Guha, a tribal equal of Rama. The stage is yours. Sitaram.
ஏழை ஏதலன் கீழ்மகன் என்று எண்ணாதிரங்கி மற்றவர்க்கின்னருள் சுரந்து மாழிமான் மடநோக்கி உன் தோழி உம்மி எம்பி என்றொழிந்திலை தோழன் நீ எனக்கிங்கொழி தோழன் நீ எனக்கு இங்கொழி என்ற சொற்கள் வந்து அடியேன் மனத்திறந்திட ஆழிவண்ணா ஆழிவண்ணானின் அடியினை அடைந்தேன் அணிபொழில் திருவரங்கத்தம்மானே. Sitaram. The topic for this conference has been Samadharma, meaning equality or equal respect, right? So, in general, if we take Samadharma, we can see that in different societies, in our contemporary society also, we'll be taking how it has been handled and how it can be handled and how it has been handled in Ramayana. So for our current topic, we have Guha, the tribal equal of Rama. We can see that Samadharma in general is not a political or a social concept alone in Sanatana Dharma, but rather it is a way of living. And that is what we are going to be seeing in Ramayana today. आपृच्छे त्वां पुरुश्रेष्ठे काकुत्स्थपरिपालिते देवतानि च यानि त्वां पालयन्त्यावसन्ति च. Rama, after being instructed by King Dasharatha to uphold the promise of his father, leaves towards the forest. And as he keeps traveling, he slowly starts reaching the borderline of the Koshala kingdom. There he turns towards Koshala kingdom and folds his hands and says, Aprache tvam parishreshte ka kutstha paripalite. O Mother Kaushala, O Mother Koshala kingdom, I take leave from you. I will go to the forest for 14 years and I'll quickly return and pin tondai todarven. I will come back and serve you in 14 years. Saying this, he takes leave of his people and the Koshala kingdom and he carries forward along his journey to the forest. And traveling like this, he soon reaches the banks of river Ganges. Jalagataṭaha sogram पेन निर्मलहासिनीं क्वचिद्वेणी कृतजलां क्वचिदावर्तशोभिताम्. The river Ganges is flowing majestically. In some areas, she's rushing fast, and in some areas, she's calm and slow. In some areas, she has whirlpools, and in some areas, with her foam, it looks like as though she's smiling. Looking at this beautiful river, where even the celestials take a dip, Rama pauses and tells Sumantra, Oh Sumantra, let us stay here for the night. Let us park our steeds here. And after spending the night, let's continue on to our journey along to the forest. And there's a small specialty about this place near the river Ganges. And that is, this place is called Shringiberapura. And in that Shringiberapura, there is a certain man who lives there, who is very dear to Rama. तत्र राजा गुहो नाम रामस्यात्मसमस्सखा निषादजात्यो बलवान् स्तपतिश्चेति विश्रुतः. Who is this man who is dear to Rama? This man is called Guha. He is the tribal king there. And here Valmiki uses a very special adjective to describe Guha. He is Ramasya Atma Samassakha. He is one who Rama considers his own equal friend. And so Rama actually patiently waits there, knowing that Guha would come and meet him as soon as Guha knows about his arrival. And soon enough, Guha, upon hearing the arrival of Rama, rushes there with his elders, carrying fruits to provide hospitality to Rama. And carrying all sorts of edibles, he comes and he meets Rama, and upon meeting Rama, Tamartha samparishvajya guho raghavam abravit swagatam te mahabaho taveyam akhilamahi vayam preshya bhavan bharta sadhu rajyam prasadinaha. When Guha is coming here, Rama sees him from a distance and he says to Lakshmana, Oh Lakshmana, look, Guha is coming. Let's go meet him. So he drags Lakshmana by the hand and he rushes to meet Guha. And the two meet. Guha is in fact shocked to see Rama state in tree barks, but he hugs him tightly and he offers the fruits and hospitality and says, Oh Rama, what is this? You can actually stay here. Take these fruits, take this hospitality that I'm offering, and Vayam Presha Bhavan Bharta. We are just servants. You are our Lord, and Taveyam Akhilamahi, this whole world is yours. Please rule this kingdom like it's yours. And to this, Rama, how does Rama reciprocate to this? How does Rama reply to this? Bhujabhyam sadupinabhyam pidayan vakyam abhravit dishtya tvam guha pashyami yarogam sahabandavaihi apite kushalam rashtram mitreshu cha daneshu cha. Rama also hugs Guha tightly and he says, Oh Guha, thanks a lot for offering me these fruits and roots, but I cannot be taking any edibles from you right now. Know me as a hermit, and due to my father's promise, I'm going to the forest. So I cannot be taking what you're offering to me. However, please feed the steeds. They're very hungry. And if you feed them, I shall be considering that itself as my own honor. And saying this, he further goes and asks, he tells Guha, Dishtya tvam Guha pashyami hyarogam saha bandhavaihi. I'm very lucky, I'm very fortunate that I'm seeing you all hale and healthy with all your relatives, all your friends, and your kingdom is flourishing. Your tribal kingdom is actually flourishing so much. Seeing that, it's making me very overjoyed. Saying this, Rama just asks for Rama just wants to rest there, so Guha provides him with a grass bed to just lay over that night. And further continuing on, Rama rests that night, and Guha, Sumantra, and Lakshmana, the three people stay guard to Rama when he's sleeping that day. And during this incident, when Rama is sleeping, Lakshmana is also staying awake, right? Seeing that, Guha tells to Lakshmana, "Oh prince, you can also sleep. We have a bed for you too, and we are in fact very capable of protecting Rama. You don't need to worry if he'd be safe here. Although we're tribals, we have the capability to even wage a war against a four-limbed army and ensure that Rama's safety will always be there." And here he also goes a step ahead and says, "Nahi Ramat priyatamo mamasti bhuvi kaschana bravimi tadaham satyam satyene vachate shape." He says, "Nahi Ramat priyatamo." There is not a single man on this earth who is more lovable to me than Rama. And this is the honest truth. I promise by this that Rama is the most lovable man to me. He is the most dear to me. So you don't need to worry about Rama. And why is he the most lovable man to him? Asya prasadadasham se lokesmin sumuhadyashaha dharma vaptim cha vipulam artavaptim cha kevalam. He says, it is due to Rama that I have got Dharma Vaptim and Artha Vaptim. Now, what is this Dharma Vapti and Artha Vapti? In a quite literal sense, Dharma Vapti means growth in Dharma, and Artha Vapti means growth in Artha or wealth. Right? Here, another interesting perspective we could notice this in is Dharma Vaptim here probably refers to his Nishreyasa. In his Nishreyasa, he's had growth on seeing Rama. The more and more he sees Rama, he grows in his own Nishreyasa and as well as in his Abhyudaya. After all, for a leader, what is Artha to him if not for spending it for the people, right? He accumulates wealth, he accumulates Artha so that he can spend it to his own people and increase the Abhyudaya, right? So in a way, we can say that here Guha indicates that Rama is his cause of growth in both Abhyudaya and Nishreyasa. Rama is the root cause for his dharma to grow, and we can beautifully notice how Rama is not lovable to Guha because Rama has been providing him something, or that Rama is the prince, or that there is any personal gain there, but rather this friendship that Guha has is based on character and dharma. And after saying this, Guha, but however, Lakshmana refuses because although he understands that Guha is very well capable enough to protect Rama, he has his own reasons, he has his own concerns regarding the king, the kingdom, and all the events that has transpired. So Lakshmana is not able to rest easily. And so the night just passes while Lakshmana talks to the two, Sumantra and Guha, and the day breaks, and as the dawn comes, the two princes as well as Sita depart to the forest. And even when departing to the forest, Rama there tells Guha a word of like a word of advice. Be very careful of your granary, your treasury, and your kingship. Make sure that you guard these safely. Saying this, he takes his leave in a boat that is prepared by Guha, and he crosses the river Ganges. And he goes ahead, and we all know the story. There's another 14 years in the forest, and we all know the events that happen there. And in fact, in the upcoming sessions, we'll also see how Rama's Samadharma and in general in Ramayana, Samadharma can be noticed in the events that happen in the next 14 years also. And after winning Ravana and, becoming successful, and after the 14 years of exile basically, Rama returns back to Koshala kingdom. At that point, he, on his return journey, tells Hanuman, "Oh Hanuman, please go and notify Bharata of my return and gauge his reaction." At that point, not only does he does he stop to tell about Bharata? He also notes a small thing. He says, Shringivera puram prapya guham gahana gocharam nishadhadipatim bruhi kushalam vachanan mama. He says, oh, Hanuman, when you're going na, on the way, there's a small place called Shringiberapura. Make sure to make a stop there. There's my friend Guha, and make sure you tell him of my words. Tell him I have returned, and tell him about everything that happened, and tell him that my exile has been completed. And he goes a step further and says, Shrutva mam kushalinam arogam vigatajwaram bhavishyati guhah preetah samam atma samasakha. Rama says, Guha, my Atma Samasakha, will actually be very overjoyed on hearing my return. So make sure that you stop by and tell him. Saying thus, of course, after that Hanuman continues, and we all know Rama returns to the Koshala kingdom, he gets coronated, and the story ends, right? So this is all, most of the events that we can get where Guha is coming in Ramayana, right? These are the events where Guha is mentioned in Ramayana, and we can see some interaction with him, mostly, right? So now that we've heard of the story of Guha and where he comes, let us now get into the analysis of where we can see Samadharma through this, right? In the story, we'll be breaking this into 3 segments or 3 episodes. The first episode being Rama and Guha's interaction when Rama comes to the river Ganges, and on the bank of river Ganges, what small exchange they have, and from that there's a lot we can infer. And continuing on from that, the night when Rama is resting, what are Guha's thoughts? From that, what all we can infer. And lastly, episode 3 will be, in this return journey, what we can infer further regarding Samadharma from Ramayana. Right? So we'll get on to episode 1. So the first place Guha is mentioned, the first line itself where he is mentioned, it comes Ramasya Atma Samasakha. Valmiki is very clear when he is putting the definition, when he is introducing the character, that this person, Guha, is a tribal king and he is an equal to Rama. It has been very well defined. And further, we can see that Rama is also very enthusiastic to meet him. When Guha comes, he pulls Lakshmana and he goes to meet Guha. And Guha rushes with his elders, bringing fruits and offering hospitality. And he comes and hugs Rama, right? This is the story we've heard. So what are some things we can infer from this? Point number 1. Point number 1 being, Guha is a tribal king, and he is not a king in a traditional sense. He is not a king of a princely state where he'll be throned, where he'll be coronated, and he's got a equal social status to Rama, right? But even while being on the outskirts of the city and seen as a lower social background, you could say, he doesn't have to go through a PA to get an appointment to meet Rama. There is no middle person or a process where he has to first submit some documents and, visa application and all that. That is not there, right? Guha, as soon as he hears, Rama is expecting that Guha would come and see him. And as soon as Guha sees that or hears that Rama has come, he also rushes. This shows that this sort of behavior would not be natural had it not been a habit for them. So we can see habitually the interaction between Rama and Guha has always been like this, where Rama was always accessible to Guha every time he visited. And this is also quoted by the people, the Paurajana, where they say, Putreshu agnishu dareshu presha shishya ganeshu cha nikhile nanu purvya cha pita putrani vaurasan. Every time Rama visits, he asks us about our families, our servants, our agni karyam, and he treats us just like a father would treat his son. Right? The same accessibility that Rama has with his Paurajana, we can see he is extending it to Guha also. So, point number 1, in an equal relationship, each other, you don't need to have there's no formal process to meet each other. They're both very accessible to each other at any time of the day. So we can see that being followed here. Point number 2. Guha first comes and hugs him. It's not Rama who first comes and hugs Guha. Guha comes and hugs Rama by himself, right? Now, let us take a small diversion and think of this in a contemporary modern day example, right? A lot of us are familiar with office working spaces or any formal professional working setting, right? And in this case, we could consider that Guha is a sort of subordinate to Rama, right? Being a tribal kingdom on the outskirts of a city. Yes, a lot of kings maintain a good relationship with the tribals on the outskirts of their city, right? So in a way, we could say Guha is a subordinate to Rama. Now just imagine we are working in an office space and our boss is coming, or like let's say our manager is coming, right? How comfortable or how natural is it for an employee to go hug his employer and go like, oh, bro, you're here. Awesome. It's been so many days since I saw you. How have you been? Right? This sort of an interaction is very unexpected between an employer and an employee, unless they're friends, right? And if they're friends, they're equals. So here, although the title-wise relationship, the formal relationship that is given to Guha and Rama is that of an employee and an employer, the actual relationship that we can see that they share is that of a friend, is that of an equal. Guha feels comfortable going and hugging Rama, and this would not have been the case had there been a formal construct preventing him from doing that. Had there been a hierarchy in place, Guha would not feel this comfort. And this comfort even further extends where Guha offers him fruits and food and eatables, right? And Rama also refuses ki is bar to main nahi kha sakta, right? So that means that he usually takes. And it is habitual that they share this and they have this sort of a banter, they have this sort of an interaction in general. Only in that case will Guha be comfortable offering or behaving with Rama in this way, right? So we can notice that Rama has always behaved with Guha in a manner that has treated him as an equal, which has given him the space to feel like an equal and mutually also give that friendship back, right? So after offering fruits, of course, Guha even takes it a step further and says, Taveya makhila mahi, please go ahead and take this kingdom and rule it like it's yours, right? And in general, yes, there are loyal subordinates who might do this, but going to an extent of offering this role, right? There is also a certain amount of friendship there wherein he doesn't want to see his friend suffer. And he says, oh, please go ahead and take my kingdom. And there, of course, Rama refuses, right? Rama would not take this for obvious reasons. One being, he has to abide by his promise. But another being that he doesn't see Guha as a resource to exploit. Now, this is where I'd like to draw a parallel to another, like in general, societal egalitarianism that is practiced. In a lot of situations, especially in a lot of situations wherein people like Rama are concerned, like people of high status or people with power are concerned, the kind of egalitarianism that they show is a lot of times for some sort of personal gain or to have some sort of political gain, or there are a lot of cases that we can see in the society wherein, let's say, election time is coming and suddenly you want votes from a particular community, so you go to that particular community and suddenly they become yours, and you take pictures with them. The media is very alerted about this, that oh, he went there and he's interacting with those people like they're his own, right? And we all know what's the motive behind that: votes, right? For some political gain, personal gain, or maybe people sometimes do charity for fame, right? So a lot of times this perceptive egalitarianism that comes into the picture is for some sort of gain, right? But in this case, Guha is offering, oh Rama, please take this kingdom. And even in a case where it's being offered to him on a silver plate, and in fact, if Rama goes ahead and takes that kingdom also, he will not be cornered for it. No one will hold it against him. Guha will be more than happy. In all such a case also, Rama does not even for a moment think that, oh, maybe Guha is a resource, can I try exploiting him? This sort of a mindset doesn't come, because he genuinely doesn't look at Guha as just a resource, but he looks at him as a friend, an equal, who is worthy enough to rule the kingdom and who should be given the position. But yes, there is also the point, right? Rama was bounded by a promise. How can he went to the forest for the promise? So it's obvious that he won't go into a kingdom and rule it. We can see that this is in fact, while this is also true, the fact that he won't exploit or think of his friends as a resource to exploit can be further noted when in further episodes we see that he actually wins over two kingdoms. One is Sugriva's kingdom and the other is Ravana's kingdom, right? Vali's kingdom and Ravana's kingdom. So both of these kingdoms are rightfully his by the fact that he won over the king that was existing there. And he hands them over to Vibhishana and Sugriva. But he could have, after the 14 years, he could have come back and said, oh, okay, I'm annexing these kingdoms. Now you must pay taxes to me. Or in any sort of way, it was rightful that he could have asked for something. But clearly he doesn't do that. That shows that he respects those people for who they are and that he sees them worthy enough to rule, and he doesn't think that they are pieces or pawns in his political play, right? So there is some equality there also that we can see, and the same is being applied to, I'm applying the same rule here to Guha also, in which sense that he does not see Guha as just a tool he can exploit. And the concern that he's showing here, from the excitement that he has or the enthusiasm towards Guha, we can see that the concern that he's showing to Guha is also not perfunctory. It's not ki, okay, fine, there's a subordinate on the end of my kingdom. I know 14 years I'll come back, and at that time I'd want him to be in my hands. So let me just go and just ask him something. For the sake of it, let me go show my face. It's not like that. From the excitement, we can see that it's actually, he considers him as a friend. It's a genuine friendship there. And so the concern here, the concern when he's saying ki, oh, I'm fortunate to see you hale and healthy here, is very genuine. The very same concern he's extending to Bharata later when Bharata visits him, that sort of a concern can be seen towards Guha here, as he would extend to a brother or another family member or a good close friend. Right? And then when we go to episode 2, we can see from Rama's perspective, there is a lot of things that supports egalitarianism. The equality can be seen from Rama's side. Now, how does Guha feel about it? Yes, we can see that Guha is in fact hugging Rama and he's very comfortable around him, but he also says one thing, na? Bhavan Preshya, Vayam Preshya Bhavan Bharta. He says that you are our Lord and we are your servant, right? So in that case, isn't there a slight, isn't it just a hierarchy again? Isn't that what is being present? If we take that into account, during the night when Rama is resting, we all know that he says he will protect Rama. It is any person's duty to protect a person who comes as a, who you've offered hospitality to. So yes, in that way, it is Guha's duty to protect Rama. It's his responsibility. And, good manners, loyalty also, you could say, in all these senses, if you consider a subordinate and an employer relationship, then you could, maybe Guha would have said, he's the most important person to me. He is the most inspiring person to me. But no, there is actually a beautiful phrase that Valmiki puts, Nahi Rama priyatamo mama asti mama bhuvi kaschana. He says, there's no one more lovable than Rama to me in this world. Now, why lovable? You can put most important person. If you're loyal to someone, then they'd be the most important person to you. But lovable, where does that come from? That mutual love for each other would only be there if Rama had treated him like an equal. So in this sense also we can see that this deep friendship, this maitri that can be noticed here, would only be possible had Rama been treating him as an equal, and he also looks at Rama as an equal. Yes, to a certain sense, he does place himself as a step lower than Rama, but in his gestures and in his intuition, for him Rama is also his equal friend, right? And Rama is the dearest person to him. So in that sense, we could see that Guha also reciprocates this mutual respect and love that Rama provides to him equally as Rama does to Guha. And in fact, this is not just a lip service. When Guha says that I will protect Rama, it's not just that in front of Rama he's saying that, but afterwards when he's gone, it's like, okay, when Rama is there, I'll protect him. That's not the case, because afterwards when Bharata is actually coming to Shringiverapuram, Bharata, when Guha is noted of Bharata's arrival, Guha tells his people, let's do this. On one hand, let's give them hospitality. Let's definitely welcome them. Atithyam is needed. But on another hand, let's also carry our weapons. Let's be cautious. Because I don't know what Bharata's intentions are. If he's here to harm Rama, we should not let him proceed forward. And even if we have to take down his whole army, we will do everything in our capability, but we won't let them cross. And this sort of a loyalty and this sort of a love for Rama comes because Rama has been treating Guha also in that way. So in that manner, we can see how devoted, how equally committed Guha is towards Rama as Rama feels towards Guha. And in the return journey, well, before going to the return journey, let's analyze Rama's position a little. In these 14 years, as I previously said, Rama has won over 2 kingdoms, right? And he's killed Ravana in war, which was a big feat. He's seen as a hero amongst the Vanaras. We could say that he's sort of got a status quo upgrade, right? Now there are 2 different species who are following him and who look at him as a leader, who look at him as a hero, and his sort of status in the society has sort of leveled up, right? And in a lot of positions where someone goes from an existing social level to a higher social level, we can see that in a lot of cases they usually find it uncomfortable to associate people from their original place. Like, oh, I was once one of those people, but now I don't feel comfortable associating myself with them. Or that, oh, maybe every time we get that social upgrade, there is a certain way that our society expects us to behave, certain clothes that our society expects us to wear, certain people that we're supposed to interact with, and certain standards that we're supposed to keep, right? And we can see that Rama's unbothered, completely nonchalant about all of this. For him, these labels caused by the society is actually, it doesn't matter to him at all. For him, equality is not based on this. For him, these standards don't matter as to how he judges a person or how he treats them as an equal. Because amidst all those Vanaras, amidst Vibhishana and amidst Sugriva, while everybody is looking at him, he publicly announces that my Atma Samasakha is there, so Hanuman, go and notify him. Right? In equality, there are 2 types of duplicity that we can see. One where internally they'd be very chummy with that person, they'd be very comfortable, and they'd be like, oh, you're my best friend. But the thing is, for outside, I'll have to, I can't associate with you when I come outside. But inside, let's, when we'll meet somewhere, and at that time we'll like be really good friends. But outside, please don't associate with me. There's one sort that does, when it comes to fake equality, there's one sort that does that, where they generally want to be equal, but then due to societal pressure, they don't want to show that they associated these people. And another sort of duplicity, wherein societally outward, they'd like to project that, oh, I'm very equal. I actually, in fact, accept these people. They're my people. Oh my God, equality, right? And then when it comes to internal interactions, they actually feel, they actually go like, who are they? Why should I speak with them? They're not even at my level, right? So there's a certain boundary that they set, a standard that an entitlement that they feel, right? So when it comes to duplicity, there's 2 types of duplicity. One where they interact externally, but internally they feel no respect for that community or those people. And another type wherein internally they want to interact and everything, they understand, they value the friendship, but then externally due to pressure, societal pressure, they don't want to. In Rama's case, we can see that neither are there. There is no duplicity at all because he is genuinely wanting to be equal. Internally also, when he meets with Bharata alone, when he's going to the forest, he treats him as an equal, and he continues to treat him as an equal even externally after 14 years amongst a big crowd that looks at him as a hero. And for him, neither crowd matters to him, the presence or the lack thereof. And after 14 years also, Guha is as important to him as he was 14 years back when he was leaving to the forest. Which is why he makes a special note that when I left for the forest, I informed Guha. So when I'm coming back, I'll have to inform him again. Right? Guha is just as special as he was in Rama's mind. Although he's formed new alliances and new friendships, that he does not let those new alliances overshadow the existing friendships that he has had previously. Although he's got new connections at bigger places, it does not overshadow the fact that he's still got friends who he considers equals at so-called lower places, right? So in all of these stances, we can see the equality that is being practiced by Rama and the same equality that is being felt and reciprocated by Guha in the whole of this episode between Guha and Rama, or Guha's presence overall in the Ramayana. And a small thing about this is that in general, throughout the Ramayana, we can see that Rama's character aligns a lot with the Vedas. So, can we get some citation for this from the Vedas? How about this quality of equality? Is there any mention of this in the Vedas also? If you look at that, yes, there are actually many mentions in the Vedas, like this particular mantra, Samano mantra samitas samani, samanam manas saha chittamesham, samanam mantram abhimantra eva samane navo havisha juhomi. Samanam mantraha, let us have a common sabha, let us have a common assembly. Samanam manaha, samitis samani, let us have a common community. Samanam manaha, let us have a common mind. Saha chittam esham, let us have a common thought process. Samanam mantram abhimantra eva samane navo havisha juhomi. Let us have a common prayer and a common let us offer the common oblation. In such a way, Veda encourages a society that let us all have everything common, equal opportunities. What did we look at? At the beginning, Samadharma is about equal dignity, equal respect, and equal opportunities for all. And here Veda promotes that equal opportunity. Similarly, in this mantra, Dhrite Drige Hama Mitrasya Ma Chakshusha Sarvani Bhutani Samikshantam. Mitrasyaham Chakshusha Sarvani Bhutani Samikshe. Mitrasya Chakshusha Samikshamahe. May I look at all the beings with the eye of friendliness. May all the beings look at me with the eye of friendliness, and may we all look at each other with an eye of friendliness. And this friendliness mentioned in the Veda is not just, you're my friend, I'm your friend, let's be friends, right? It goes beyond that. There's actually one level further. It's actually about recognizing the same divine spark that I have as the same thing in that person also, and considering that person as myself. Now, you will not ever want something bad to happen to yourself, right? The way you would like to treat yourself with the respect, the same way you would like to treat, if you look at yourself in the other person, you would also treat them with the same respect, right? So here, the friendship that Veda talks about, the Maitri Bhava that Veda talks about, is in fact seeing yourself in the other person and hence treating them as equal and being friendly, right? And so on, there are so many other mantras in Vedas which talk about equality, harmony, and friendliness, about inclusivity. And we can say that Rama, or any character in Ramayana for that matter, is in fact inculcating or practicing these same values. And I think that is precisely the point of coming to this conference, when we are all here to discuss and hear about Samadharma, when we are analyzing Guha. I think the sole reason why we are discussing these topics is because going forward, we also have incidents a lot in our lives wherein we tend to overlook these things, right? No one is perfect. But every time in the future or in the past also, if you've had an encounter, or if we will have an encounter wherein we feel that we're slipping in the Samadharma, these moments like Guha or Bharata or other people like, the Paurajanas or the other creatures, or Rama and how he behaves with his enemies, all these incidents that we're going to be analyzing and we have analyzed till now, should be a staunch reminders for us that this Samadharma was what was practiced in Ramayana, and that is how I should also be doing it. The whole point that we have been analyzing, and we will go further and analyze, is because we have to imbibe these values. So on that note, when I'm ending, I'd like to conclude by taking an essence of this whole Guha episode and condensing it into three major points about Guha and Rama's Sakhyam, or about Guha and Rama's, the equality status that Guha receives in Ramayana. One, equality beyond labels. When we are being cautious about ourselves and as a society, when we're growing together, Nishresam and Abhyudayam, right? For that sort of a growth, when we want to practice this equality, the first thing we should be aware of is equality beyond labels. Seeing this person, especially considering that we live in a very polarized society that is divided by men versus women, color, race, positions, social status, and wealth, so many things that are dividing us in today's society, so many labels that are put onto us, and hence cause us to get narrower and narrower. The first thing that we should take home from Guha and Rama's Samadharma is that it is an equality beyond labels. And the second point is the respect is mutual respect. In any equal relationship or friendship, it starts with providing each other mutual respect. What I have, what I give, I will receive, right? And So going forward, if we ever find ourselves in a spot where we are wondering, these should be some checklists that we should hold for ourselves. And the third being love without hierarchy. It doesn't matter. As I'd like to quote the first thing I started off with, ye rai, ye dalan. It doesn't matter if he was poor or, he's just an edalan. In such a person who would be considered as lower, it doesn't matter to Rama. Hierarchy doesn't matter. He's a subordinate, so what? He's just a subject, so what? In fact, we will see in the future, he's an enemy, so what? It doesn't matter to Rama what hierarchy the society presents to him, or even internally what hierarchy that they hold. Love for each other should be common, right? Respect and love should be common. And that is what any equal relationship would be based on. So in the future, if we ever find ourselves in a spot, I think this Guha and Rama Samadharma teaches us these three main things: equality beyond labels, respect, mutual respect, and love without hierarchy. So with that, I'd like to end this presentation thanking everything I've learned to my Guru, Sri Ranganna. The Sabha is open to questions.
Sitaram, that I found it interesting in the sense that some of the things I think most of us, like she said, we could relate to in terms of the workplace context. I also found, I guess the 3 points, I guess for most of us, multiples of us, it really reflected on how we treat people right now. Something I think we can take forward with us overall when we're going through. Next session is Sri Vaidehiji's session. Different communities in Bharata's journey. I'll leave it up to her. Sitaram.